In India, we usually believe that only children need to learn how to behave, how to respect elders, how to study, and how to grow up properly. But let's pause and think, who teaches the parents how to parent? No one. And honestly, in many cases, I feel it's the parents who need to learn more than children. There's a very popular belief in our society: the moment a baby is born, the mother and father automatically know how to raise the child. But in reality, that's not how it works. Parenting doesn't come with a manual. Just like no one is born a scientist, teacher, or cricketer, no one is born a perfect parent either. The day a child is born, a new mother and a new father are also born. And just like children, they too are beginners, learning on the job, making mistakes, and figuring things out as they go. But the real problem is, we never talk about these mistakes. We never question our parenting style because we assume that parents are always right. We say things like, माँ बाप कभी गलत नहीं होते, वो जो भी कर रहे हैं तुम्हारे अच्छे के लिए ही तो कह रहे हैं, पेरेंट्स ने इतना कुछ किया है तुम्हारे लिए, इतना तो उनका हक बनता है. While love and care are no doubt present, sometimes it crosses the line and becomes control. Let's talk about the real problem. In India, parenting is often treated like a full-time control system. From childhood to adulthood, parents want to decide everything for their kids. Which stream to choose in class 11, which college to apply to, which entrance exam to give, which job is considered respectable, which city to work in, whom to marry, how many kids to have, even how to raise those kids. We have grown up hearing the famous line, whatever we do, it's for your own good. And yes, Indian parents genuinely make many sacrifices for their children. They cut down on their own comforts to provide better education, food, clothes, tuition, and coaching classes. But what they don't realize is, when these sacrifices are mentioned again and again, they start sounding like emotional blackmail. Let me give you some everyday examples. मैं अभी भी 15 साल पुराना स्कूटर चला रहा हूँ ताकि तुम्हारा MBA हो सके. हमारे ज़माने में तो हम साइकिल चलाकर स्कूल जाते थे, तुम्हारे लिए तो कैब भी लगा दिया. तेरे लिए तो ज़िंदगी भर की मेहनत लगा दी, अब तू इतना भी नहीं कर सकता मेरे लिए. Now, let's be honest, initially this feels like love, but slowly children start feeling guilty for simply living their lives. They begin to think that their every decision must first go through a parent approval system. What do Indian parents really want? When a parent says, "My child will make me proud," what does that actually mean? Let's decode it. In most Indian homes, being a proud parent means the child should top in school and college. The child should clear NEET, JEE, UPSC, or any other respectable exam. The child should become an engineer, doctor, or IAS officer. The child should marry the person we choose from our caste community. The child should have a son and live nearby so he can take care of us in old age. And if a child dares to take a different path, be it music, art, acting, sports, or even a different partner, then suddenly the parents feel betrayed. Their reaction? ये तो हमारे संस्कार नहीं है, तुमने हमें सबके सामने शर्मिंदा कर दिया. हमारी इज्जत का तो सोचा होता बेटा. They don't realize that in trying to create the perfect child, they are often breaking the child from inside. Child's life becomes a performance report. From the very beginning, children are taught that they must perform to be loved and respected. If you score 90%, good job beta. If you fail in maths, तुझ में तो अकल ही नहीं है. If you become a doctor, पूरा खानदान तुझे गोद में उठा लेगा. If you say you want to be a wildlife photographer, शादी में क्या बोलेंगे लोग? Everything becomes conditional. Love, respect, and appreciation are often tied to achievement, not existence. A child is made to feel like their worth depends on the marks they get, the job they land, and the reputation they build for the family. But what about the child's own happiness? Their mental health, their interests, their individuality? Most of the time, that is either ignored or treated like a side problem. The generational cycle. This mindset has been passed down from generation to generation. Our grandparents were strict. Our parents followed their path and became even stricter. Now, We're expected to continue this tradition. But times have changed. Today's world is not the same as the 1970s or 1980s. Technology, careers, relationships, everything has evolved. Yet, our parenting style is stuck in the past. That's why we need to break the cycle. If we don't, we'll continue raising children who fear failure, feel burdened to please others, lose confidence, don't express their true feelings, carry emotional baggage into adulthood. And one day, repeat the same parenting mistakes. A child's life becomes a performance review. In many Indian homes, a child's life unknowingly turns into a corporate style performance review system. You do well in school, you get 5 stars. You crack NEET or RPSC, you're our pride. But if you fail, we are disappointed, ashamed even. And no, it's not always said directly. Sometimes it's in the size, sometimes in comparisons, sometimes in that one sentence, हमने सब कुछ तुम्हारे लिए किया और तुम ये भी नहीं कर सकते. The pressure to always perform, always please, always prove turns childhood into a burden. Playtime is replaced with tuitions, dreams are replaced with duties, and freedom, that becomes a luxury very few children can afford. What happens to their own dreams? In this constant race to meet expectations, the child's own voice starts to fade. Maybe they wanted to be a musician, maybe they dreamed of starting a bakery, maybe they were passionate about sports or animation or design, but slowly those dreams are tucked away. जब सेटल हो जाएंगे तब परस्यू करेंगे. But let's be real, most never get back to it. Life moves on, responsibilities pile up, and the dreams, they collect dust. And this, my friends, is not just about lost careers, it's about lost identities. This is generational trauma. We often think trauma is only about abuse or major incidents. But emotional pressure, unrealistic expectations, and lack of autonomy, these are also forms of trauma. They just wear a more respectable mask. This trauma is passed down from one generation to another like an old family heirloom. हमारे साथ भी ऐसा ही हुआ था. हमारे माँ बाप ने भी हमें enforce किया था, अब तुम भी adjust करो. And thus, the cycle keeps repeating. Your grandfather didn't get to choose. Your father followed orders. And now you're being told to do the same. But the real question is, when will this cycle break? Even foreign shows are catching on. You know something's wrong when even international media starts to stereotype Asian and especially Indian parents as overly strict and controlling. In shows like Never Have I Ever, Kim's Convenience, and even Ms. Marvel, Asian parents are often portrayed as wanting top grades, dismissing mental health, forcing careers, ignoring personal choices. It stings, but there's some truth there. It means this isn't just a ghar ki baat. It's a generational cultural pattern that needs reflection. This video is not about blaming Indian parents. Let's be clear, we're not here to bash our parents. We love them, we respect them. They made countless sacrifices, be it walking miles to school, saving every rupee, or giving us a better life than they had. But good intentions don't guarantee good outcomes. Love without understanding can also hurt. Control disguised as care is still control. So what are we asking? Just 2 basic things. 2 decisions that every human being should have the right to make for themselves. What career to choose, whom to marry. That's it. Just these 2. Let the child decide where they want to go and with whom. If parents just allow this, half of life's stress would vanish for both the child and the parent. Let's talk about the government job obsession. Every Indian child at some point has heard UPSC do. SSC की तैयारी करो. Government job ले लो, life set हो जाएगी. Yes, government jobs are stable. They have respect and security. But the real question is your child even interested? Because here's the truth. UPSC success rate less than 0.1% SSC. Millions apply for a few hundred posts. State level exams often delayed or cancelled. Meanwhile, kids spend 3, 4, even 5 years preparing, burning out in coaching centers, facing repeated failures, doubting themselves. and wasting their prime years. And the worst part, even if they don't succeed, they carry lifelong guilt. I failed my parents, I'm a disappointment. मैं उनका सपना पूरा नहीं कर पाया. Meanwhile, the world is changing fast. While we're stuck in the past, the future is knocking loudly. So, what's the message here? Dear parents, we're not asking you to stop guiding your children. We're just asking you to walk beside them, not ahead of them. Don't push them toward your unfulfilled dreams. Help them chase their own. Because when a child gets to live a life they truly want, they don't just become successful, they become confident, peaceful, and most importantly, happy. And at the end of the day, isn't that what every parent wants? Let's rewind the pressure cooker called childhood. The day a child is born in a typical Indian middle class family, a dream is already assigned. The child doesn't even know the alphabet yet, but the destination is already pinned. And parents, out of love and sacrifice, go all in to make it happen. Papa won't upgrade the family car, still rides the old Bajaj scooter so he can afford coaching fees in Kota. Mummy cuts back on groceries, skips new saris so she can send extra pocket money every month. They sacrifice vacations, celebrations, and even medical bills to fuel this one dream, a big name college, a stable future, and bragging rights. Now, here's the catch, it's not the child's dream, it's a dream their parents saw for them, not with them. What happens when the dream breaks? Some kids make it, they crack the exam, and for a while everything seems worth it. But what about the ones who don't? That's where the pain begins, not just for the child but for the entire family. The child feels like they've let everyone down, not just academically, but emotionally, financially, even morally. But the truth is, they didn't fail. The system failed them. A system that ties worth to a rank, love to performance, and respect to results. The real tragedy when pressure turns deadly. In 2023 alone, over 2,000 students in India died by suicide. And let's be clear, it wasn't just because they didn't pass an exam, it was because they felt like failures in the eyes of the people they loved most, their parents. The guilt, the shame, the constant fear of being judged, they weren't just scared of society, they were scared of disappointing their parents. And what do they hear in return? हमने सब कुछ तुम्हारे लिए किया और तुमने क्या किया? हमारे रिश्तेदार हमें सुनाते हैं तुम्हारी वजह से. क्या मुंह दिखाएंगे लोगों को? Words like these don't just hurt, they stay, they echo in the mind day after day. Some children break, some rebel, some withdraw forever into silence, and some take steps that can never be undone. The silent father figure. In many Indian households, the father is not just a provider, he's the enforcer. He rarely says, I'm proud of you or I'm here for you. Instead, it's, मेरे घर में रहते हो तो मेरी मर्जी से चलना पड़ेगा. तुम्हारे लिए सब कुछ किया, अब तुम कुछ बन के दिखाओ. If your father isn't like this, consider yourself lucky. Because most Indian boys grow up with emotional distance from their fathers. You'll call your mom, your friend, your cousin a dozen times. But your dad, you hesitate. You rehearse your lines. You wonder if he'll even pick up. There's no hate, but there's no comfort either. The unwritten parent-child contract. In Indian homes, parenting often comes with invisible terms and conditions. We gave you food, shelter, education. In return, you must score well, obey always, marry as we say, and take care of us when we are old. If a child dares to break even one clause, they're labeled as selfish, disrespectful, or naalayak. There's always a Sharma ji ka beta to compare with, but even Sharma ji's beta is under pressure, just hiding it better. The hard truth. Success, happiness. A recent survey showed something shocking. Most Indian parents care more about their child's career success than their mental health or happiness. Compare that to the West, where kids are taught, follow your passion. Take a break if you need to. Your worth is not in your grades. In India, the narrative is different. Marks is love, rank is respect. Failure is shame. Even legends are not immune. Take Yuvraj Singh, for example. He once shared how, as a child, he won a medal in skating, proudly showed it to his father, Yograj Singh, and his father threw it away, saying, "Skating is useless, only cricket matters." Yuvraj became a world champion, but that childhood wound, it still hurts. When parents over identify with their children. In Indian families, the child's achievements and failures are seen as extensions of the parent's image. So, if the child doesn't become a doctor or top the board exams, the parent feels personally attacked. Not because they don't love their child, but because they think they failed as parents. And so they double down, they control more, they restrict more, they demand more, all in the name of love. But what the child feels is pressure. And love that feels like pressure is no longer love. It's a burden. When pressure becomes punishment, the Indian parenting paradox. Let's imagine a scene. A 17-year-old walks home slowly after missing an important board exam due to illness. He's pale, scared, and sweating, not from the fever, but from fear. And what happens at home? Instead of a comforting hug, the atmosphere turns icy. His mother starts crying, his father stops speaking. Some even faint, not because of the child's health, but because of the missed exam. The pressure cooker childhood: study, marry, reproduce, repeat. Indian kids grow up with a manual already printed for their life. Score top marks, get into IIT, AIMS, or a reputed college. Get a job that sounds impressive at weddings. Marry someone your parents approve of. Same caste, same religion, good family. Have children quickly so your parents can become grandparents on time. Live nearby so you can take care of them in old age. From childhood to adulthood, everything is scheduled, expected, and pre-decided. Where's the space to breathe, to make choices, to make mistakes? When love has conditions. In India, love is never just about emotions. It's entangled with expectations. The moment a child chooses something different, like a career in the arts or a love marriage, the parental response is often not curiosity but conflict. Intercaste marriage, तुमने हमारी नाक कटा दी. Love marriage, तुमने तो हमारे सपनों पर पानी फेर दिया. And in extreme cases, the child is disowned, cut off, erased from the family name. Not because of a crime, but because they dared to choose their own partner. Marriage, two people but a full house. Even after marriage, Indian couples rarely get full independence. They often continue living in a joint family setup. Now, while this sounds beautiful in theory, shared love, shared responsibilities, it comes with hidden tensions. Parents go to bed by 9. Couples want to binge Netflix till 1 a.m. Parents want rules. Couples want flexibility. Parents want to be involved in every decision, from dinner to diapers. And most importantly, there's no privacy. Even small issues like who controls the TV remote or what to cook for dinner become daily friction points. And over time, love turns into tolerance, and tolerance into distance. Why so much attachment? One reason why Indian parents are so deeply involved in their children's lives, even after they're grown adults, is because they've built their entire identity around being a parent. Unlike Western cultures, where people continue hobbies, passions, and independent pursuits after their kids grow up, many Indian parents stop investing in themselves. Their world revolves around their child. They give up vacations. They let go of their passions. They don't save for retirement because beta kama lega. Survey says the sacrifices are real, but so is the emotional debt. A recent survey revealed 82% of Indian parents are willing to sacrifice everything for their child's success. 31% gave up their own hobbies. 25% stopped taking holidays. Many stopped planning for their life altogether. And all this would be beautiful if it didn't come with an emotional bill. Every sacrifice turns into a reminder. Every compromise becomes a guilt weapon. मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी तेरे लिए छोड़ दी. तेरे चक्कर में कभी अपने लिए कुछ सोचा ही नहीं. तू हमारे लिए कुछ नहीं कर सकता. This is where love transforms into emotional blackmail. And the child, even if 35 years old, still feels like a debtor in their own home. So, what's the solution? Yes, Indian parents love deeply. Yes, they sacrifice selflessly. But love should never feel like control. Sacrifice should never come with a guilt tag. Children are not meant to be remote controlled robots. They are meant to explore, stumble, fall, learn, and rise. They deserve the freedom to choose what they want to study, whom they want to love, how they want to live. Let them make mistakes. Let them find their own purpose. Let them bloom at their own pace. Because when children are allowed to be themselves, they don't run away. They come closer. They don't rebel. They respect more. They don't carry trauma. They carry gratitude. And most importantly, both parents and children live fuller, freer, and happier lives. Let love be support, not suffocation. Let sacrifice be voluntary, not a burden. Because parenting isn't about creating perfect children, it's about raising independent, happy, and kind human beings.